All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Engineering Major Philosophy Minor. Tonight, I am going to be releasing another video where we read some more of the Gulag Archipelago. But before I went into that reading, I did want to give you guys a quick movie review of the new movie from the Daily Wire called Run, Hide, Fight. It came out last Thursday, the 14th. I was able to catch a little bit of the premiere, but I came into it late and the stream got cut off, of course, because in order to watch the movie, you actually do need to be a Daily Wire subscriber. And I will talk a little bit about the kind of pricing in a little bit. But before I do that, I just wanted to give you guys a quick review, in my opinion, of what I thought of the film. And just in overall picture, I thought the film was excellent. By the way, I'm going to try really hard to avoid spoilers in this video. If I accidentally am talking right now and I say a spoiler, I will try and edit it out. So this should be a spoiler-free review. So again, overall impressions, I thought the movie was awesome. Very interesting story, very interesting character development, interesting characters in general, good acting, good cinematography, good cultural messages, things like that. So let's just go ahead and go kind of like topic by topic, at least the topics that I think make a movie a pretty good movie. And I want to start off just with acting in general. The main character acts her role extremely well. I am not aware of any other films that this actress is in, but she did an excellent job. She portrays emotions of the situation very well. She portrays inner conflict extremely well. You know, being scared, being downtrodden, being resolute. All those emotions were extremely present in her character. And I bring her up just because she's one of the main characters. Let's go ahead and flip it over to the villain side of things. The main villain acting was insanely well. Very aloof kind of character, conflicted character. Some of the other villains portray kind of inner conflict, not just kind of within what they think is good or bad, but just conflict in general, as in the conflict that they are causing. And then there are several minor characters throughout the film that were also very, very well done. But I don't want to go too into any of the minor characters because it might give something away. So let's go ahead and move on to storyline slash plot slash theme. I thought the plot was insanely interesting. The plot lended itself very well, not only to the beginning of the movie, but also the main character's progression throughout the movie and then eventually the end of the movie. The dichotomy between the protagonist and antagonist groups was a distinction that was very, very well drawn. And then not only that, but the supplementation of minor storylines or minor characters throughout was sensibly placed. Me being an engineer, I really look out for like kind of technical, like I want to say sciencey things that like kind of go wrong with movies. Let me give you an example, like Wonder Woman 1984. I was not a huge fan of that movie, and a big reason why I wasn't a huge fan of that movie is because, granted, it is a fictional story. There were just things that happened in the movie that just weren't scientifically or like realistically sensible, like in any kind of in any kind of way, like even for a fictional series. You know, like sometimes it's like, okay, like Star Wars, for example, I'm wearing a Star Wars t-shirt slash lifting t-shirt, like they have lightsabers. Okay, well that's like part of the fictional universe, right? But in Wonder Woman 1984, for example, they commandeer a random jet that is like at a museum, on display at a museum. And there's many reasons why that's completely ridiculous, because they're trying to combine the fictional world with like things that we know are like non-fictional. Like you can actually go see this jet at that museum in that location, and there's no way that it's even going to have engines in it. And if it does have engines in it, it's not going to be fueled. And if it is fueled for whatever reason, which it never would be, but but even if it was all those things, it certainly would not be just like easily operational by a person who whose only experience with flying was in a World War I plane. So anyway, let's go ahead and get off Wonder Woman 1984. But the reason why I brought that up is because in Run, Hide, Fight, there weren't any technical issues like that made the story completely unbelievable. There were a couple. There were like maybe two moments where it's kind of like, okay, that's a little bit far fetched, but it definitely wasn't like completely outside the realm of technical possibilities. So in terms of plot and theme, the movie was awesome. Now I do want to talk about just kind of cultural messaging in the movie, because for me this was one of the heavy hitting points as to why I thought it was so good. So the movie is definitely not overtly political in any kind of way. But it's very obvious that there are some cultural messages that are trying to be sent. And I actually thought that the movie did a really good job of catering to kind of middle of the road slash things are represented kind of on both sides of the cultural aisle that you might be on. So if you're on more of the conservative side, there's things like, you know, the role of masculinity and femininity in society. There are some preludes to religion in the film that are very positive, but it's a Bible movie or anything like that, which is really cool. Now, let's say you're on the opposite side, and you're looking for things that are more diversity related, such as different race demographics, different gender demographics, different economic class demographics. All of this is represented extremely well, and of course, then you do have the interaction between, you know, the villain's backstory and the hero's backstory, you know, which are kind of illustrative of the bridging between those two cultural things. So, on like a social and a cultural level, I thought the movie did an extremely good job of kind of catering to a very broad audience without being just like overtly ridiculous on one side. Again, we could talk about Wonder Woman 1984, very obviously having a slant to it towards one side. This movie is not like that. And so the other reason I want to bring that up is because, you know, if you're somebody who even if you're somebody who's on the extreme of either side, you know, of kind of like the cultural or like political debate, this movie still I think will be good for you to watch. Like I don't think that there's any moments in the movie where you're going to be like, oh my god, you know, I can't believe they did that. So it was just an all around good story. Again, well acted, interesting themes, interesting character development, and things like that. So the last part of this review that I do want to touch on, because this is important, is it's actually a pretty, if unless you caught the premiere, it's actually a pretty expensive film to watch. And this kind of brings it back to what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, where you do have to be a Daily Wire subscriber, and you actually need to pick their middle tier subscription. At least that's what I thought I had to do. I could have made a mistake, so correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But so it is a $12 a month subscription. You can pay it annually, which is going to be 144 bucks. Now, as somebody who consumes Daily Wire content, I decided to go ahead and sign up for the whole year because I know that they've mentioned that they're going to start releasing more movies, and there's a number of other podcasts. For example, Apollo, they have some podcasts on the Apollo missions, which I've been meaning to watch, that you have to be a subscriber to watch. And just some various other historical documentary type things on their website that I'm interested in watching. And of course, they're going to start releasing apparently more movies. And the next movies that they're going to release are not going to be so violent. Oh, and that's one of the things I should say. The movie is very violent. The plot of the movie is a violent plot. And so if you're thinking about sharing this with younger kids, maybe not such a good idea. I think that the equivalent kind of movie rating that the Daily Wire guys were talking about before the film was released was, I'd say for sure rated R, just in terms of violence and mature content. So there's that. And then, yeah, you know, I ended up basically paying over $100 to watch the movie. I mean, granted, I'm going to get like a ton of other content out of it, but still, if this is if you only plan on watching this movie, it might be a pretty penny to sign up for a Daily Wire, just like a full Daily Wire subscription, or even just like a 1 month, like $12 kind of thing, like just to watch this one movie. But I don't know. If you only had to pay $12, like, honestly, like almost like a movie theater price, I think that it's worth it, for sure. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, right here. But overall, Run Hide Fight was a really awesome movie, and again, it's definitely not overtly political. It just has all the good elements of a solid, interesting, and kind of just interesting, invigorating, thought provoking, and just generally entertaining movie. So, shout out to the Daily Wire guys and whatever producing team and directors and all the actors and actresses. You guys did an insanely good job. I definitely plan on watching the movie again, and I would highly recommend it to any of you guys. So anyway, guys, I'll be back to you guys reading more of the Gulag Archipelago, but I did want to make this quick video, and so I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.